Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, my darlings.
Speaking of celebrating, we are celebrating a little summer break that we're going to take
Yes, this is the season
here
finale
on the
of season
Queer
two.
Network. Yeah,
Yeah,
we put together a little what do we call it? A
like a
little
best of show, like a little
yeah.
review. Yes, and by we, I mean Eddie put together a beautiful collection of our some highlights. And you really get a sense of like how every episode really just flows into the next, and we refer back to a lot of things here and there throughout the 27 episodes. I think this is 27.
This is 27, yeah.
That's
27.
crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's show the little montage and the little clips, and then we'll come back on the other side and maybe just talk a little bit about it and wrap it
Yeah.
up. How's that?
Sounds good. Hi.
Hi,
Wake up.
wake up and welcome to the Queer Network.
Exactly. Grab your coffee, your tea, and we'll get right down to business. And we're back. We're excited to chat about some universal themes today, which are super important and very big, but they're just so applicable to like everyday life. That's what I'm really excited for you to listen to today.
Just a couple of queer boys having some queer talk.
Yeah, on the Queer Network.
You become an unstoppable force when you realize that you can do it alone. Be okay with what your reality is and where you're at.
Mhm.
And if you're not, then to figure out how to change that.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, one of the big things we said is to go inside or to just watch and listen to things that go around you and look for those answers. The answers will come.
Because what that brings you will be an impulse to do something, and follow that. Just follow that impulse.
And then the final thing I will say is just do it. And it'll take you exactly where you are meant to be.
Last week we sort of left it at like just do it, which was perfect. And this week, I think it's really important. This is the other side of that conversation, or one of the other angles to that conversation, about that we're also here to support each other when we can see that someone's really taking that risk and just doing it. And they're, despite the fear, despite what the world is saying, they're still going for it, and they'll keep going for it, probably even more when the people around them encourage them to keep going.
People have been craving connection
Oh,
and community. And
yeah.
it's almost like not just us queer people, but
No.
the world has been in lockdown for a
Yeah.
couple of years. And
Yeah.
this was the first biggest celebration, of
Yeah.
life
Of love.
based on the queer community.
We go through a lot in this episode about self-worth, about love, about acceptance, about confidence, about letting go, about moving on.
We're very excited for you to see this episode.
Yeah.
It's a lot about reaction, how we react to people is about love and kindness
Mm.
and what would love do. And I mean, there's just so many things wrapped up in this
Which is
that
connected to pop culture right now, the Grammys, and the reaction that we all had to that moment of like just queer love being celebrated. And then also at the same time, drag queens being legislated out of public spaces. We're going to talk about sex and intimacy, and I think it's going to be interesting to see all our perspectives. get a sense of like where we're at as individuals, maybe what we sense of the community.
There's nothing wrong with having a lot of sex. There's nothing wrong with being in an open relationship. There's nothing wrong with being monogamous.
I think intimacy, even when we're hooking up, maybe that's one thing we leave people with is like, what would it be like if I did this hookup, but actually spend some time, connecting to my heart as well, or just getting to know them a little bit, or just seeing them as this, this beautiful soul and person I'm with.
The words that came to me were, I see you.
Oh, I love that, Ed.
No, I see you. And
love
even in that sexual connection,
Yeah.
look at that person's eyes and say, I see you. We all, think that we need or want something. And even if it's not sort of working or coming together, we continue to do that instead of allowing ourselves to say, okay, this is not working today,
Yeah.
and move on. Let's take an example of the phone with Grindr. If it's not working, put it down.
That's easy to say, but in the moment, it's fucking hard.
You have to trust that this is not the moment for it, and you have to think, okay, well, I'll go on tomorrow, and maybe it'll be different tomorrow. Even before going on, it's not having the expectations. That's the problem. This episode was all about letting go of what's not working, and at the same time remembering that what's meant for you will not pass you by. You have to trust and have faith in the universe, or in whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that's guiding you. But if you don't do the things that you're guided to do, it will come back, and it will come again until you do get it, and until you do then break that cord.
Oh, there it is.
You can choose to be happy or sad.
Yeah. It's not right or wrong.
No.
You always have a choice in the moment to choose however you want to be. What's in the moment for you going to make you feel better?
Whatever path you go on, there is something to learn.
Just have faith in the moment that you're going to choose the thing that's best for you. And if you don't want to make a choice in that moment, that's also a choice. You don't have to choose something all the time. If you want to stay still and wait for a bigger impulse, or wait for a bigger sign, or wait for something to guide you a little bit more, don't choose anything. Be still. Listen to yourself. Listen to your own guidance system that's either leaning you towards something or away from something, or pause, or it's time to go.
And no judgment with whatever it is you decide.
That part.
Yeah.
That part. I think, to wrap it up, like, the mind and the body are very much a part of this physical experience that we live on the earth. The spiritual side of the spirit of our life is what connects us to like something that's greater, whatever you believe that to be. And we've talked about that a lot on the podcast. But I think, base level, the body's here you're here to work with your body, and it's always talking to you. But you do have to get still enough sometimes to listen to it. And if you don't, something will happen in order for you to listen.
Who the hell?
What?
We're going to talk about planning.
We bring different perspectives to this because we both live our lives in different ways, but we also align on many things. So it's a conversation where you can sense, I can sense at least, the nuance of planning, and that there's a lot of ways to see this. At the end of the day, though, it is about being respectful to yourself and respectful to the people around you. That's what it comes down to.
To plan or not to plan, and how do you plan?
Plan or not to plan, that is the question. This week on Queer Talk, we always bring up things we've talked about in the past, and these episodes all sort of morph together because they're often about things that are like daily life lessons that we continue to learn in our own lives and want to pass along in some way, shape, or form. And today was about some of the cycles of life that we go through, and that there's moments when we don't necessarily feel like ourselves, or there's like a health problem. Sometimes it's emotional or psychological, and some of the ways that you can help yourself out in those moments.
So Rumi, for those of you who don't know, is a 13th century poet. He has some amazing words of wisdom. And this is one. As you start to walk out on the way appears. That's it.
That's what we want. These queer talks to be things you can take with you and even refer back to, that will have lasting effect in your everyday life. That's what we're pulling from our everyday life.
From our queerdom to yours. Peace.
That's cute. I like that. From our queerdom to yours.
Yeah.
Love it. And just like that, we're back. What y'all think? What did you hear? What through lines did you hear? Through all of those little nuggets. I mean, those were the nuggets that we discovered along the way. And it truly was our own personal discoveries that we were making. We were as we decided to do another season of Queer Talk, we realized like what we really wanted to do was share some of the conversations we were already having off camera, on camera. And that's why we chose to do this season differently than, other versions of Queer Talk that we had done before. And it was truly an exploration, for me at least.
Yeah. I mean, my big thing, I think it was obvious in the clips, has always been, or for this version of Queer Talk, was to have a message.
Mm-hmm.
To have a message in every episode that we did.
Yeah.
And to really talk about life lessons
that
are ongoing, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
You and I are quite a difference in age, and it's quite fascinating because there have been many times where we're going through exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how old you are. These are lessons that will continue to happen. We always say that even if it just helps and affects one person, then we're happy.
We want to offer something that makes anyone out there just a little more less alone.
Anybody can watch it and learn from it, but it's still coming from two queer guys.
Yeah.
And
that representation matters.
Yeah.
Because we realized there was like not a lot of queer voices speaking out in this way. We have some obvious stereotypes about what gay men love, what lesbians love. There's all these stereotypes, and they're funny and they're comical and they are true to some degree. But we realized that, like, and I don't even want to use this word, but if you think of another word, tell me. The self-help, like self-nurturing, self-loving, more a little bit spiritual, that side of our lives, we don't have a lot of examples of queer people leading in that space.
Yeah.
And we have been on our own journey, for a long time. And then we've like found our ways of moving forward together and separate. And so this was a really cool way to share some of that growth and then discover things along the way.
Exactly. And so that leads us to we're taking a little break. We're taking a little summer break. We don't know
holiday
how long it's going to be. And what I would really like to see happen for the next season is to have more people on.
Yeah.
We love talking, and that's what we've done. But I think, again, I think it's time to take it to another level and really have other people. And maybe that will be the catalyst or the impetus for having people on that we don't even know. But we are going to really have people on that we know. And I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a pleasure to go on this journey with you, to share this season with you. I look forward to seeing, where this goes in the next season.
Yes.
So thank you for all that you are and that you've contributed to the Queer Network. So
Ugh, well, it's completely mutual. It's been such a ride to explore this side of our friendship on camera. It's like sort of an experiment of sorts, but it actually just felt so easy and natural, and it was just an extension of what we already are to each other, so it felt really authentic to share. Yeah, and thank you for being so honest and vulnerable and open. And I just really think like that is part of what is so beautiful about our friendship, is that we are coming from these different parts of our culture, and yet we're like so similar in so many ways. So it's just, it makes for always a good conversation.
exactly. And I think we've talked about this, I think people know Justin does all the social media stuff. He does all the posting, I do all the editing.
Yeah.
So, it's a good combination. It works out well.
Yeah.
And so
We're excited for what finds us in season 3, and also just and beyond with the Queer Network. Queer Talk's one component, but
exactly. In the meantime, for those of you who haven't seen some of the episodes, you can go back and have a look at them.
yep.
And enjoy your summer.
Enjoy Pride wherever you are. Happy Pride to those that are celebrating mostly in June.
Yeah,
lots of the world does.
Yeah,
We'll see you in season 3,
exactly.
whenever that is.
Love you all.
Love you all.
And as I said in the last part of that little clip, from our queerdom to yours.
From our queerdom to yours, our little queer hearts to your queer hearts.
Show the love, everyone, and
yes,
just love yourselves, love each other, and we just need to spread this love and joy around.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. So go and change that, y'all. Spread that love.
Bye.
Bye. That's it.